Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look again at the Astra Militarum, and today we're going to take a look at the Death Korps of Krieg. Now in this video we're going to go through talk about the regimental doctrines that we are going to be using to represent the Death Korps of Krieg, before taking a look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction. We'll then take a look at some other units we reckon you can expand with after those first couple of initial purchases, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points using hopefully the majority of the brand new plastic kits and indeed some of the fantastic Forge War kits for the Death Korps of Krieg to hopefully give you some inspiration for starting your own Death Korps of Krieg army for the Astra Militarum in Warhammer 40k. And so, with that said, regimental doctrine. First of all, we've gone Grim Demeanor. For me, this is just a shoo-in for one to use to represent the Death Korps of Krieg nicely on the battlefield. You first of all gain the Grim Demeanor keyword, and each time a unit with this doctrine takes a combat attrition test, you can ignore any and or all modifiers. This is just, Krieg written all over it. They're supposed to be this resolute, fight against the odds, trench warfare style army. This is something that suits them. Now also, this is a Forge War specific one that you can use called Cult of Sacrifice. This is sort of made specifically for them, where units gain first of all the Cult of Sacrifice keyword, and each time a unit with this doctrine makes an attack, if that unit's models were below its starting strength when it's selected to shoot, you can add one to your hit roll. So effectively, if you're damaged, you get +1 to hit. Pretty cool stuff all round. Like this just, the Death Korps of Krieg, they get hit, they fire all the harder. For me, this really sort of just pushes that narrative forward of what we're going to be playing as an army. And so, to get us started, we're going to look at a Death Korps Marshal. Now, this is a Death Korps of Krieg specific unit. You can get this guy from Forge World. He's part of one of the command squads, though you can really use whichever model you want to represent that Marshal. But I think this one in one of the command squads is an absolutely fantastic fit for the model. Now, he's got a few special rules. First of all, his Refractor Field for a 5-up invuln on himself. He's got Regimental Doctrines and Voice of Command there, like standard for a lot of Imperial commanders. But he's also got the Senior Officer Aura, where any friendly Astra Militarum core unit within 6 inches of him, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, they can reroll a hit roll of 1. Remembering, if they are also damaged, they'll also be at +1 to hit, which is pretty cool. He can take a variety of different weapons, but really he's just there to give out a nice little buff, act as sort of that centralized focal point for the force. 4 wounds is nice as well. He is generally, most likely 1 wound more than most other heroes, but he can take bodyguards as well. He doesn't have a command squad as he's only as a lone character, but he can take a bodyguard, which could be an Ogren or something like that. Now, to go along with this model, we are going to look at the Death Korps of Krieg Troops Choice. This is a plastic kit. You will find them as the Kill Team kit, effectively. Now, you can have a Death Korps Watchmaster and 9 Death Korps Troopers in the unit. You can have the option for a Medipack, which is nice, and also Voxcaster, extremely important. But you've got the Death Korps rule in there, where each time an attack is made against this unit, a modified wound roll of 1 or 2 always fails. So they're that little bit more resilient, which is pretty cool. And you've got the options for, flamers, grenade launchers, melter guns, even sniper rifles, which I think are a really interesting choice. You can have the Voxcaster and the Medipack as mentioned, but you can also choose to put a plasma pistol or power sword on the sergeant in the unit as well. Other than that, they're pretty standard sort of thing with what they've got equipped with. You've got your standard weapon loadout that you would expect, the las guns there for the rest of the squad. Now, looking at where we can go next, a fast attack choice for me, the Death Rider Squadron. These are, once again, a Death Korps of Krieg specific unit. You pick these guys up from Forge World. They are their own sort of specialized cavalry unit. Weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 3+, toughness 4 there, thanks to being mounted on the cavalry. Now, you've got to start with the Death Rider Hunting Lance, which is strength user, -1 AP, damage 1. And each time an melee attack is made with this weapon, if the bearer's unit made a charge move, the strength characteristic becomes +2 and the AP becomes -3. And the damage also becomes 2, which is pretty sweet. You've got the Augmented Mount, where you get a 5-up Feel No Pain on the units, and flanking maneuvers as well. During deployment, you can set this unit up behind enemy lines and setting them up on the battlefield, and they can enter from a board edge, which is pretty cool, hollow within 6 inch, and more than 9 inch away from any enemy models. And you've got, a couple of extra weapons in the units as well. You've got the Savage Claws from the mounts as well, which is pretty fun. But also you can take things like power swords and a plasma pistol on your sergeant there as well. The other Death Corps special unit we're going to look at is the Combat Engineer Squad. These are really fun to bring to the table. First of all, once again, they have a couple of cool special rules. So they've got sappers where during deployment, if every model in this unit has the ability, you can set them up underground and bring them onto the table. They effectively can take mole launchers, which are an indirect fire weapon with the blast rule, strength 5, -1 AP, damage 1, heavy D6, pretty good for hitting enemy units of troops without having to sort of be targeted back. Gas bombs are fun as well, where they've got a blast weapon, throwing them at 6-inch range for grenade D6, strength 2, -2 AP, damage 1. But they always wound on a 2+, which is pretty cool. And other than that, you've got engineer shotguns, which are an assault 3, strength 4 shotgun. Now, commissars definitely, they fit the theme of what you're bringing to the table. And generally, if you are going to bring that marshal, you're not going to have, his aura of 24-inch because he hasn't got the command squad on the Voxcasters in there. But a commissar, there's amazing models you can see here on Forge World for the commissar for the Death Corps. He's just going to bring the ability to have the summary execution to really help with those combat attrition tests. So once per turn, when a friendly Astra Militarum core unit within 6 inches of this model fails one. So this is, on the chance you actually fail one with all your negatives, you can keep them in the fight even longer. Now, the last thing I want to take a look at is going to be the Cyclops demolition vehicle. I think these, just really suit the narrative aspect of the Death Corps of Krieg. They've got their demolition charge with a range of 6-inch, heavy 2d6, strength 9, -2 AP, damage D3 blast. And effectively, they just roll up to the enemy and explode. Pretty fun. 50 points, they're nothing too fancy, but I think this is just such a Death Corps of Krieg style unit, it's worth having a little look at. And so here we have our Death Corps of Krieg sample army list, going with the Arcs of Omen detachment. As you would expect, we've taken 3 troop choices. This which means we've got, free reign to take whatever we want. Now, we've gone for playing with the Death Corps of Krieg Marshal, who's going to have a Warlord trait and a relic on him. First of all, his Warlord trait is superior tactical training. This allows him to take an extra lot of orders that he doesn't normally have access to, taking the Prefectus ones in here. And then the Tactical Auto Reliquary of Tiberius allows him to issue an additional order that he knows each turn, which is pretty cool. So meaning, he can just issue some more. He's got a decent amount to choose from. This is just really going to give us some nice tactical flexibility. For troops-wise, we've got 3 units of Death Corps of Krieg. They've all got a medipack in them. They've got a plasma gun, sniper rifle, and flamer in the units, along with a plasma pistol and power sword on the sergeant there as well. I really like the idea of the sniper rifles, considering we've already got plasma guns available and a flamer in there. I think having a sniper rifle as that extra weapon is interesting. Gives us the ability to maybe snipe off additional characters, those smaller characters that hang around the field. I'm thinking things like some of the standard bearers from the Space Marines and stuff like that, those lower wound characters. And then elites-wise, 3 combat engineer squads, 5 models each, though they do have the mole launchers in the units. And then we've got 3 Death Rider squadrons, 2 or 10 model units, and 1 5 model unit, giving us a perfect 1,000 points, 4 CP, and 51 power. If you've been playing around with the Death Corps of Krieg in Warhammer 40k, I'd love to hear how you're going, what your favourite Death Corps of Krieg units are, and even come share some of the pictures of your amazing looking Death Corps of Krieg army in the Discord as well. And so that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you did enjoy the video and you want to say something, leave us a comment down below and let us know what you thought. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our great little community here at Cinderful Gaming, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description. Also down there in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel if you'd like to do so. You can either grab yourself some merch via our Teespring or Ko-fi stores, which are linked down there, or our Patreon and YouTube members where you can help support the channel, get yourself a shout out, and indeed if you're a YouTube member as well, get yourself some cool emotes to use in our live discussions or indeed on your comments on YouTube. As a special thank you to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising 8, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Conomos, Colorblind Magic, and Daniel Etherington. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariane Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, James Tillman, and Dylan Areno. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see here for the channel, and to everyone who helps run our Discord server, all our mods, you're fantastic, and everyone who makes it a great place in there as well, and indeed to everyone who helps come and do the battle reports, and to all our sponsors on the channel as well. Thank you all once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.